Hello humans, ghouls, and mutate fools. My name is Mara. I am a mutate zombie, and today we are playing Cinderella Phenomenon. If you hear any weird noises going on, it is because I have moved to a new domicile. Um, so there's a lot more animal action. Yeah, you might hear them running around. Also, the headphones that I had, they're packed away somewhere, possibly. I might have not even packed them in regards to the shuffle, because when there's a horde, you gotta move fast. But anyways, I am back here with Cinderella Phenomenon. Found a nice spot to be able to do it. Um, Also, if you hear me doing any sort of nostrily things with snot, it's because when I was fighting some zombies, one of them bashed their face into my nose, so now my nasal cavity is kind of wonky. But we found a doctor who will be able to fix that. So just gotta wait for him to go through his human patients, and then I'll be right in there, and this won't be as gross and annoying. Right now, it's very annoying. But yeah, we are setting up some people here in Cinderella Phenomenon to go on a date. Well, hopefully get Garland to ask Jurian to go on a date with him, and then they go on the date. I'm pretty sure those are the characters' names. Like, I have them right, because both of them sound like they could go male or female in the name way. They seem like they could go for either gender or any gender. So I think that's how it is. I think Garland is asking Jurian. Um, and Karma's being a freaking adorable little. Oh, I just love Karma. All right. So the conversation between us dies, and we return to the Marchen. Days passed, and though I did not spy on the conversation between Jurian and Garland, I noticed that Garland has been smiling from ear to ear during his practice with Claude recently. All right, I was right. It is Garland who is doing the asking. And he smiled at success. Was it a success? I believe it was a success. I can only assume that his confession went well. Claude took the patrol shift tonight, and as I lie in bed, I am restless. Every time I watch Claude practice with Jurian and Garland, I'm reminded of the palace of Fritz. I wonder how Fritz is doing. Is he still practicing with the other knights? My thoughts darken as I recall the kidnappings. Claude had to save me every single time. He got injured saving me. Unable to sleep, I slip out of bed and make my way to the reception room. The night air is cool, and no one stops me from standing just outside of the Marchen. I cannot just sit back and do nothing anymore. I have to act. I do not want Claude to get hurt because of me again. You could have been taking practice lessons this entire time. That could have been a thing. Eventually I see Claude approach. He looks tired and is moving more slowly than usual, but when he sees me, his lips quirk into a smile. Lilac, what are you doing out here tonight, love? Ah! He called her love! Ah! Ah! Okay. Ah! 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 I am fanning myself now. Ah! Okay. Love instead of darling. That's new. Hello, Claude. Ah, he's blushing. His face is dark red again. If you're using my real name, I suppose you've come to ask me for something serious. How could he know that? I do need to ask something of you. Well, if you need a shoulder to cry on, I'm right here, love. Ah! What? Oh, this is not about... Never mind. I'm asking if you will be my instructor. Yes! For some reason, I seem to have caught Claude off guard. He stares at me for a few moments. What? I want to learn how to use the sword, and I want you to be my instructor. Claude's expression becomes uncharacteristically serious. I'd rather you didn't learn how to use a sword. I do not want you to have to keep protecting me. I don't mind protecting you. I do. Claude sighs and shakes his head. Princesses shouldn't be using swords. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. You are. I do not want you to get hurt again when I could do something about it. Teach me, please. Claude. Once again, he flushes. It seems to be an instant reaction and is both amusing and endearing. It won't be easy. I wasn't expecting it to be. Claude stares at me for a long time before finally letting out a heavy sigh. Fine, I'll train you. Ah. You won't learn in a day, but I can teach you the essentials. You can use one of the knight's training swords. Thank you. Music to my ears. Meet me in the clearing in 10 minutes. 10 minutes? What? You said you wanted to train, so we will. Don't expect me to go easy on you. But aren't you tired? He looked exhausted when he came in, and now he wants to train? Already trying to get out of training? I am not. Claude shakes his head, but he is smiling. I'll see you there in a few minutes, love. Every time he says that, I get all warm and fuzzy inside. Ugh. Moonlight spills through the leaves, illuminating the forest with gentle light. Long minutes pass, and as I stand in the clearing, I begin to feel restless. It isn't like Claude to be late. Is he tending to his injury? I hear a rustling in the leaves and turn immediately to see what the disturbance is, but the minute I do, I am pulled back by a strong force and my world goes dark. Before I can scream, I hear a gentle voice in my ears. Lesson 1, Lilac. When apprehended by an enemy that you can't see, remain calm and use your 5 senses to judge how best to get the upper hand. This voice is coming from right behind me. Image. Claude? I become aware that this is the closest he's ever been to me, with my back pressed against his chest like this. Panicking disorients the mind. That is why you must remain cool under any circumstance. How could I not panic? Any normal person would panic. Still, I try to force myself to be calm. Lesson 2. Enemies will often let down their guards when they think they have the upper hand. Catch your opponent off guard by remaining calm and locating his weakness with your senses. I try to calm myself as Claude instructs, and I feel it is a bit easier, but only because I know it is Claude. An opening. I move as quickly as I can, stepping forward so that I can swing an elbow back at Claude's stomach. Before that happens, Claude has pulled me back to him, closing whatever distance I had between us. In the process, he moves his hand from my eyes to my mouth. I can once again see the forest, but my words are muffled beneath his hand. Another thing to remember, you won't always be able to catch your enemy off guard by throwing punches or hits at them. Your opponent will usually always be stronger than you, Lilac. Remember what I said about a weakness. Enemies will often let their guards down when they believe they are winning. Just like I have. An opening? A thought occurs to me as I glance around me and then down at Karma's bandaged hand. Karma's bandaged hand is over my mouth. Is this the opportunity or a trick? What will you do, Princess? What kind of tactic would remove you from my grasp? Yeah, bite his hand. You feel a bandage. Yeah. I'm going to feel terrible about this, but I have to try. I try to shift my head to get enough space to bite down, and even Claude cannot hold me completely still as I squirm. Eventually, the hand over my mouth moves just enough to force me to open my mouth, but I falter. I cannot bite the hand that I injured. Unable to do anything else, I mutely shake my head, and I hear Claude groan. In one swift motion, he pushes me down to the ground, pinning my hands by my head, and he frowns at me. You're not even going to try and find an opening? I glare at him. I'm not going to bite your hand. Bite my hand? I didn't even think of that. But you made it obvious. You put your hand over my mouth. I meant for you to try moving my hand. Pushing back a person's thumb usually causes their grip to loosen. How was I supposed to know that? Experience is the best means of practice, as they say. I have a complaint about that particular lesson, but I withhold it. That was a pretty good attempt, love, but not good enough, I'm afraid. I wasn't expecting you to come at me like that. I was expecting a sword practice. You weren't expecting a man to kidnap you in the alleyway, were you? I glare up at him, unable to say anything because he is right. You're oddly quiet. It is hard to find an opening to hurt you when you are not really my enemy. He does not move, but continues to stare at me. His face is close to mine. Close enough to what exactly? Lilac, do you trust me to protect you? That's not the point. I need to be able to protect myself. We want to protect Claude, too. Because you're planning on investigating the witches on your own? No, I want to be able to protect myself because I do not want you getting hurt protecting me. Claude leans down, and I can feel his hair at my cheek. For a few moments, everything slows to a stop, and all I can hear is my heartbeat and his slow breathing. Once you set your mind to something, you don't let go, do you? Claude pulls away from me before I can respond, and he's standing again, offering me a hand. Let's get started with some sword work then. The pleasant smile is back on his face. I can never tell what he's thinking at times like these. What do you really like, Claude? Chapter 7, Thorny Rose. Ha, get it? 'Cause he has a rose with thorns. Ha, ha, ha. When I return to the Marchen later that night, my hands are scratched and I think I might have bruises on my arms. Claude was not joking when he said he would not go easy on me, but he did compliment me more than once. Lilac, I've hit you quite a few times and you haven't uttered a single complaint. Impressive. Crying is for the weak. Though everyone should be sleeping, I notice that the light is still on at the tavern. I see Jurian and Garland up at a table speaking with each other and laughing. If Claude had come back with me, he would be happy to see this. You two are still up? They are not even surprised when they turn to face me. Good days like this are even better when stretched. I haven't been off duty in a long time. Did you both have a good time tonight? It was great. Garland knows these little places in the town that I've never even heard of before. I noticed that Jurian is more energetic than usual, her smile a little wider than normal. I wonder if she's drunk. I'm going to get another drink. Another drink? Garland leans toward me, his voice hushed. We already bought a replacement bottle when we were out today. We would never take anything from the Martian without money. Right. Is Jurian drunk? Oh no, Princess. Tipsy. It's like a buzz, but fades a lot quicker. Oh. Garland and I watch Jurian as she refills her glass at the bar. I have to thank you, Princess. I would never have asked her out if you and Karma hadn't insisted on it. So you told her? Garland looks at me with a pleased smile. I'll take that as a yes. She didn't really realize until much later. I just asked her out for food, and she thought that's all it was. Maybe Jurian really did need to be told bluntly. What happened? I, told her? And? We talked and remembered old times. He sounds like an old man. And I held her hand. I noticed Garland flinch ever so slightly, but he is smiling. He looks pleased with himself. And the night's not over yet, so he trails off with a hopeful smile before he raises his eyebrows at me. What about you and Karma? What about us? I've asked him to train me. Train? Princess, you've asked him to teach you how to use a sword? What's this? Our princess is going to pick up a sword? Jurian returns to the table, but I am too tired to properly join in the conversation. I should leave them to their conversation and head to bed. I need to get some rest if I want to start practicing at night. I excuse myself to head upstairs. What was that? I am startled awake by an excruciatingly bright light. It is momentary, and when it's over, I am sitting in my bed, dazed and confused. My eyes burn. My hand flies to the pendant around my neck, where I see the second glass slipper with another piece. What? Was the good deed telling Garland to go after his Goyle? His love interest? There's another piece. But when did I do another good deed? I grasp the necklace tightly in my hand as I make my way to the tavern. Everyone is doing their pre-morning chores when I get to the tavern area. I notice Karma glaring off into space, and then not far from him, the two knights. They haven't been up all night, have they? I make my way slowly over to them. Even back then you were like some kind of shadow, weren't you? You don't have to hide it. It was obvious you were tailing me back then. It was only because I was worried about you. I realized you really didn't have to follow me, Lan, but I'm glad you did. Lan? Jurian. Oh, shush. Fritz used to call you that too. Lan is Garland's childhood nickname. He still gets embarrassed when I call him that. I see. So what are you two talking about? Oh, we were just reminiscing. I look at the two of them critically for a few moments, waiting for them to say something. They both exchange a glance before looking at me, confused. Well? Well, what? How did your date go last night? Garland makes a sound and turns beet red. Jurian's eyebrows quirk, and then she laughs. Oh, that. It went well. So well, in fact, that you can see the two of us are still very much enjoying each other's company. Jurian is usually busy taking her rounds around the Marchen with a scowl on her face. She looks happier being here with Garland, more relaxed. You might even say that we're dating. Ah! Isn't it funny how red he gets, Princess? You were blushing just as much yesterday when I... One more word, Lan, and I swear I'll punch you. The two of them are both blushing now, and the scene is oddly comical. Ah. Who knew that 2 great knights of the Order Caldera could be so easily undone? Both of you are amusing to watch. The two of them stare at me, suddenly solemn-faced. I suddenly remembered that one conversation the knights all had at the castle. They were talking about how they all had personal reasons for being knights, despite the fact that they all served the king. I had always thought Jurian and Garland were stoic and honorable, that their only reason for becoming knights was a sense of justice. Seeing them here, though, without that stoic facade, they feel more like people. My curiosity is piqued. Do you mind if I ask what your reasons were for becoming knights? Oh, my father was a knight. He put his life on the line for this kingdom. Jurian's father was a living legend in his own right, and he had medals to back it up. My father wasn't around a lot, but I always admired him. Judging by the look on Jurian's face, it is clear to me that she really loves her father. My mother died when I was young, and because my father couldn't be around all the time to take care of me, I ended up practically living with Lan and his family. Aww. Lan always got annoyed when I called him my brother. I could see why. Now I know why. Jurian wanted to follow her father's footsteps. Then why did you join the Knights, Garland? Because he wanted to watch over me. I never knew you blushed so easily, Garland. Garland seems to blush even harder at that, and Jurian's laughter becomes infectious. I feel amusement begin to bubble up as I watch the two of them. But a cold voice cuts through the laughter and the atmosphere like a hot blade through ice. Oh, poor Claude. Could you keep it down over there? I turn and see Claude's eyes, normally so warm, are cold. His usual smile is gone, replaced with a deep scowl. Oh, we're sorry. He's still glaring at the two of them. Oh, I can tell him about the necklace. Karma, I got another piece to my necklace. Another good deed. Claude turns his gaze to me, but the frown doesn't disappear. That's nice, darling. His voice is calm but flat and lacks any enthusiasm. That felt lackluster. And oddly disappointing. A good deed? Congratulations, princess. You're close to breaking your curse. What did you get the good deed for? I'm not sure, actually. Maybe it was for helping Lan confess? I hear you and Karma went out of your way to help make it happen. That happened yesterday, though. Maybe the magic was waiting to see what became of Garland and I. Claude makes a dismissive hand gesture from his table, frowning. If you two insist on being so affectionate, you should go get a room. Affectionate? Jurian's smile has faded away into a dangerous scowl where Garland looks confused. Jurian looks notably irritated. The shadow is still there on his face. Claude does not look okay at all. This is hard. I would comfort him because he's always running himself ragged. He shouldn't be down tonight. He should go sleep. But also, that would be considered scolding. Yeah, I guess that it's more scolding than comforting. It's not like, hey, you should, calm down. I know you're tired. It's more scolding. It's like, I know you're tired, but you shouldn't be an asshole. So yeah, it's more scolding. It doesn't matter if something's bothering him. It isn't like him to be so rude. Irritation is no excuse for rudeness. Fine, I apologize. Happy? He looks at me for a few moments, his expression twisted into a defiant scowl, but it doesn't hold long. Moments later, his expression softens and he looks away, almost in shame. I'm sorry. This apology sounds real. But still, why do I feel so disappointed? Silence descends for a few moments before Claude abruptly stands up from his table. Excuse me. Claude turns briskly and heads upstairs, leaving me with the two knights. I wonder what's wrong with him. You think we've been running him too thin because of practice? I do not think it's you two. I get the feeling that Claude holds himself back from saying what he means sometimes. Sometimes he acts strange. That is true. Distant. Very true. And recently, he is getting more and more moody. Princess? I look over at Anise, who is smiling apologetically. Sorry to interrupt, but Mr. Broom is getting kind of restless. Time to sweep, I suppose. Well, maybe cleaning will help get my mind off of other things. The rest of the day goes by slowly. I'm stuck cleaning most of the day and then serving later. At one point, I speak with Delora about the knights that had attempted to kidnap me, and she tells me that she and Parfait are meeting later to discuss their suspicions. I still do not understand what their suspicions are when Sir Alcaster cannot possibly know who I am. My hands are sore by the end of the night, but I still feel like I can practice with the sword. I notice that both Jurian and Garland look restless too. Garland eventually leaves the patrol, while Jurian remains at a table, looking deep in thought. I do not want to bother her, so I decide to try and find Claude. I go to his room, but find that the door is locked. Karma, are we training tonight? No answer. My heart sinks. Is he not speaking to me? Did I do something wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. You're okay. Ugh. Yeah, she's growing on me. I mean, still don't like her as a person, but thanks to the addition of other characters, she's fine. For days, Claude stayed in his room, only leaving when he had to be on patrol. A few times I saw Parfait go into his room, but she refuses to talk about what is bothering him. I feel so useless. When Claude did appear in the tavern or in the town, he still had that terrible grimace on his face. Look, I really don't want to talk right now. If you're so frustrated with me, why not just ignore me? No, I'm not going to train tonight. I'm not in the right state of mind. I don't want to talk about it. Just leave me alone. Please. I'm not going to ignore you. Take some tea. Here's some tea and a cupcake. I'm really beginning to worry about him. I won't say anything. Just here. Know that I'm thinking about you. Here's a tea and a cupcake. Today I'm in town running errands with Waltz for Parfait. It has been almost a week since Claude started acting so strangely, so I thought I needed to do something for him. I know he likes dresses, and he told me once that he likes roses, but can I really find something that will cheer him up? Perhaps he would like some jewelry. Waltz, do you remember where that jewelry store Karma likes is? I don't go there very often, so unfortunately no. Princess, is this a good deed? What you're doing right now, did you think it would be a good deed? Good deeds need to be selfless, right? Generally, yes. I doubt this will count as selfless. I'm doing this to cheer Karma up. That sounds pretty selfless. But it's also so that he goes back to teach me how to fight instead of sulking in his room. I've heard that Karma has been teaching you how to use a sword. Why do you want to learn how to fight? Because I want to be able to protect myself, and it's not like I can use magic. At least sword fighting gives me an advantage. I'm sorry, Princess. I wish I could teach you magic, but it doesn't work when you're under a curse. But on your 18th birthday, when you become the Tenebrarum bearer, you'll be able to use magic. I'll instruct you if you want me to. That would be nice. Though that does not solve my current problem. What would cheer Claude up? Walt starts chuckling beside me, and I turn to look at him, confused. Carmen is important to you, isn't he? He's my partner, and he's helped me. He has also been patient with me and smiled even when I've said some really inconsiderate things to him. I'm glad, Princess, that he's your friend. My friend. Claude does not feel like a friend. He feels like something else. Yeah, he does. Oh, Princess, is this the one you were searching for? Walt points to a peddler sporting different kinds of jewelry, and I instantly make my way toward it. There are all kinds of glittering things displayed, and for a few moments I feel myself drawn to everything. Then I notice the price tags. I barely have any money left from when the king gave me that pouch. I cannot afford any of this. Maybe we should do our errands first and then look for a gift. Maybe we'll find something as we look through the stores. But if I don't get Claude's gift today, I may not be able to give it to him tonight. Princess? Let's run errands first. They're more important. Waltz has a good point. We might find something while we do the errands, and then we can get them out of the way. Besides, it's not right for me to put Claude above everyone else. We spend a few hours gathering the supplies needed for the tavern, and only then do we start looking again for Claude's gift. Princess, I can hold more of those bags for you. It's fine, I'm used to carrying a lot of bags. Does Carmen make you carry them around? Princess, you really should tell him off. He does a lot of other things for me, but next time I think I will. So long as he gets out of his room sometime soon. I really hope he does. Hey, Princess. But now the problem is finding something that he'll like. What does Claude like? Princess! There's no reason for you to shout. Walt shakes his head at me, but he's smiling. Let me offer you a deal. A deal? If you help me set up one of my puppet shows, I'll pay you. You earn money from your puppet shows? I get tipped, so what do you say? I won't go easy on you, though. Yes, I'll help you. Why do you seem so surprised? I was just thinking that everyone's right. You've really changed, Princess. Maybe having Karma as a partner really was a good idea. Being partners with Claude may have changed me for the better, but I doubt I have done the same for him. I'm sure Karma would be very happy that you were buying him a gift. Receiving gifts from admirers isn't the same thing as you getting him something. He receives gifts from admirers? For a few moments, I think about the women who chased us in town a few weeks ago, and I feel a little unpleasant stab in my heart. Small things. A man will treat him to a dessert every so often. I saw a lot of it when we did errands together. I always make Karma accept those gifts without killing the man. Killing the man. It's dramatic, but sounds like Karma. He punched Rumple when he asked him to marry him, joke or not. Karma wears his disguise to be convincing, but then gets angry when people fall for it. He's still very much a child. An adorable child! You know how he is. He doesn't like being flirted with. Well, do you know anything else about Karma's curse? His curse? He never really talks about it. Claude may be even more stubborn than me if he's not letting anyone help him with his curse. Walt and I continue our search for a gift. Walt tells me that I can look for something a bit more expensive and that he'll just put me to work on another day by helping him with his puppets. I return to the jewelry peddler we found earlier. Hello, madam, sir. What can I help you with today? Do you have any sort of rose-shaped jewelry here? The man refers me to a box full of many different rose-shaped earrings. He then shows me necklaces, and I realize belatedly that it is as if I am searching for something for Miss Karma, not Claude. My eyes scan the glass, nearly defeated, before a little rose catches my attention in the back of the display window. It has a chain connected to it, but it doesn't seem long enough to be a necklace. What's that one? That's our simple rose pendant, madam. It comes with a chain, but it can also be pinned on the chest. The man takes it out of the display case so I can look at it. Oh, that's cute. This is fancy, but not completely flashy. I feel a little click as I press my fingers to the pendant, and I realize that it can also open. Oh yes, you can also put something small inside of it. This is perfect. I look at the price tag, and after making sure that it is not too expensive, I pay the shopkeeper. Walt pays him the additional fee, and then we walk back toward the Marchand together. When we return to the Marchand, I go to my room and tuck the locket into a drawer before I head to the tavern to finish the rest of my chores. Just as I expected, Claude is not downstairs today either. Jurian and Garland have taken to training with each other, though they seem agitated that Claude is not helping them. Knows why you like this. At the end of the day, I hurry to my room where I write a few words on a piece of paper that I put into the locket. A normal rose would have withered, so I offer this one instead, in heartfelt thanks. I hold the locket tightly in my hand and start toward Claude's room. Why is my heart beating so fast? I'm just giving him a gift. I pause at Claude's door, remembering the last time I entered his room. I am sure it's okay if I just go in. No, you need to knock. I open the door to Claude's room, which is thankfully not locked, and step inside. Claude is sitting motionless in front of his mirror, shoulders slumped as he stares at his reflection. He's shirtless, and there's the tattoo. It seems different. Claude does not notice me at first. I notice that his hand goes to the tattoo over his chest, and then I hear him heave a sigh. Slowly, I close the door behind me. It clicks, and that is when he suddenly turns to look at me. At first, there is just shock on his face, and then suddenly, anger. Again, why do you do this again, Lilac? Seriously, you need to knock. I hate people that just go in without knocking. You need to knock, and then wait for a response, and then enter. I mean, yeah. Because, like, if I were going to speak, then I wouldn't have needed to write a note. It's more like, give the thing and then run away. Otherwise, why would I need to write a note? So, it's more giving something. I tightly grip the locket in my hands as I stare at him. And this was so important, so very essential, that you once again missed knocking on my door for a simple delivery. His voice slices through my heart. I wanted it to be a surprise. I am not in the mood for surprises, Princess. Ah. In no time at all, Claude is suddenly right in front of me, his hands outstretched and on either side of me, pinning me to the wall against the door. His face is so close, his expression so fierce that I cannot even bring myself to think of a way out. The only thing I can do is stare at him levelly, without getting angry, without crying. I will not show any weakness. Why? Why aren't you struggling or screaming at me? That's what the lilac that I know would do. Then you do not know me as much as you think you do. And you know nothing about me. I already have a retort prepared when I stop, realizing that he is right. I barely know anything about him. No, I don't, but I'd like to. Why do you insist on poking your nose into others' business? We're partners. That's the only reason. It has to be. I am supposed to help you, so why do you keep secrets from me? Help me. His lips perk, but his smile is sardonic. Claude, I want to help you. In the silence that descends between us, I find that I cannot help but look at Claude's tattoo, the thorns twirling around the rose. It is beautiful, but it also seems lethal. When I glance at Claude again, he looks crestfallen, his eyes glittering like he might be on the verge of tears. Aww. Secrets are secrets for a reason, Princess. You should know that. If I could speak about them, I would, but I can't. And you bursting into my room without any notice only makes it harder. Harder for what? Princess, you can't imagine what this all feels like. What is he talking about? And that woman. I thought we were meant to be. She was so lovely, her smile as bright as the sun. Claude's eyes are far away. That's why, never again. But then you ruined everything, Lilac. Cut me down like... Ah! I push my hands against Claude's chest, catching him off guard and forcing him to stumble back. I cannot take any of this. If I've ruined everything, then I'll just leave. You can have all the time in the world to yourself then. Wait, no, he was saying that he should live with you. The locket I'd bought for him burns in my hand, and I end up throwing it at his feet. Lilac, wait. I ignore him as I run from the room. When I return to my room and lock my door, I feel too hollow inside for tears. It hurts to breathe when I think of Claude. I eventually manage to fall asleep, but only have snatches of restless dreams when my eyes finally close. More mother memories. Mother, you and father in true love? What? Like the fairy tales? I thought I forbid you to speak of fairy tales. Have you been reading them? No, Mother. I overheard someone in the palace talking about them today. Then I shall have to find that person and make sure they know what an appropriate topic of conversation in the palace is. But Mother, the true love in fairy tales sounds so nice. Do you think I can fall in true love with a prince? Dearest one, true love like that does not exist. But the love between a mother and her child is the truest kind. It cannot be replicated by anything else. All other kinds of love is an illusion. My love is all you will ever need. Do you understand me, my heart? Yes, Mother. Jeez. Chapter 8, The Lost Prince. Alright, I'm gonna end it here. Cause, oh my gosh, Carmen was trying to say that you love Lilac, and Lilac just, she only heard the bad and she threw a thing and But we got another piece of the shoe. So we have one more piece left. I feel like we're getting close to the end. Maybe like 2 or 3 more episodes. We'll find out. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode of me freaking out and fangirling over Karma and his use of words. I hope you all are having a lovely day, afternoon, evening. And please remember to like, subscribe, comment, and share this video with your friends. Ring the bell if you need to. And I will see you all next time, okay? Bye!